Hey, what's going on guys, and welcome back to another episode in my Football Manager series. This is episode number 19, and today we are returning with two games with our Tigers against Spurs in the FA Cup 5th round and Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge in the league. Before we play those games though, I can show you how Hull have been getting on off camera. One sale, one signing, both on deadline day, and also I've been given a new contract too. What shall I show you first? We'll start with me, because I'm a massive narcissist. My contract was expiring come the end of this season. So last week in the game, I said to the chairman, what's going on, bruv? Why have I not been given a new contract? And the reason why I wanted it done last week is because 2 days prior to me agreeing this new 3-year deal, which expires in the summer of 2022, Leicester City offered me a job interview. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, sometimes I show you these sort of things that are going on in the game so you guys can keep up to date with what's going on off camera. But I didn't want to spoil things for you, and I wanted this to be a surprise. Leicester City offered me a job interview last week, and I thought to myself, I could possibly go to the King Power Stadium, poach away all my young talents here at Hull, relegate them, snap them all up on those £1 million release clause when they go down, and send them all to the King Power Stadium. Then I thought, you know what? No way, man. Seriously, I'm loving life at Hull right now. Things are going swimmingly at the KCOM Stadium, and I would much rather stay here instead. So I turned down Leicester City's job interview. I said, no, Hull is where my heart is. I asked the chairman for a new contract due to my loyalty, and he said yes. So I got a new deal which expires come the end of 2022, June 2022 I should say, and I also began a coaching course as well and improved my attributes a little bit too, which is nice. But yeah, so a new deal confirmed, that's fantastic. And as for transfers as well, well, there was one sale and one signing on deadline day. Borja Baston has left the club. Very interesting deal. Club record signing of last season, signed for £15 million. Did alright in his debut year, 9 goals in 32 games and 2 assists as well. But this season, absolutely atrocious. 14 games, not a single goal. He's been awful. So Hoff and I put in a bid on deadline day of £12 million, which is £3 million more, less than what we spent on him. But I thought, even though we're going to make a little bit of a loss on him, I don't really mind. He's been injured as well with dislocated shoulder. Whoopsie daisy, injured with dislocated shoulder. I wasn't keen on him this year. Donnelly's in now. He's on 50 grand a week here, so I was fine letting him go. He's off to Hoffenheim, and I'm okay with that. And the replacement who's coming on deadline day is Charities. Not quite as good, but he's joined on loan from Everton until the end of the season. We're only paying £7.5 grand a week, a small monthly fee for him as well. And to be honest, I thought he was, you know, probably the best cheap loan signing we could bring in to replace Borja Baston for cover. Baston was now third choice striker behind Donnelly and Abel Hernandez. So Tarasad comes in, we get £12 million for Baston, and I think that was probably the sensible thing to do when it comes down to improving our finances, which are looking a lot more healthier now, up to £13.3 million in the bank, 11.5 in our transfer budget as well, which we'll save until next season, and things look a lot more positive now. Now, what's been going on off camera, you might be wondering? Well, let me show you. We saw the goalless draw against Everton in the last episode, the 2-0 win against Norwich in the FA Cup 3rd round replay, and a 1-0 win over Sam Kluge's Ipswich. Off camera, things have been going quite well, to be honest. We had a 2-1 victory away at Vicarage Road against Watford to start off our off-camera run. Then a 1-1 draw at home against Manchester City. Very positive result, that one. Then a 2-0 win over Fleetwood in the FA Cup 4th round. Tarasad came off the bench to score his first goal for the club on his debut, which was fantastic. And that's why we got the FA Cup 5th round tie against Spurs today. And then a 4-1 defeat to Liverpool away at Anfield, which ended a 10-game unbeaten run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 10-game unbeaten run. This is so annoying though, because we were 1-1 for 80 minutes and doing really, really well. And then with 10 minutes to go, we collapsed and conceded 3 goals. So bloody annoying. We were so close to a big point away at Anfield, and then we threw it away in disastrous fashion. But we responded really well. A 2-0 win against Leicester City. Brian Donnelly scored once again. And then a 4-3 victory over West Brom at the KCOM Stadium. Brian Donnelly netted his first ever club career hat-trick. He's 17 years old, already scored his first hat-trick, 11 goals in 26 games. Listen, I know some of you guys aren't too big of a fan of the guy. I understand he's not been amazing per se, but at 17 years old, 11 goals in 26 games, our top scorer this year, in my opinion, he's been a great signing. So those naysayers in the comment section, I take your opinions on board. I always always do, but I think Donnelly is going to be the new Esposito, and he's going to be an absolute legend of this save. So in the table right now, as you can see, we are sitting in 13th place. There are 11 games to go. We are 14 points clear of the drop zone, and due to our really good run of form, only one defeat in 15, I think it is now, we have just got ourselves away from any trouble whatsoever, and we're loitering comfortably in mid-table right now. So there's still a long way to go in the season. We could still be clawed back into a relegation fight, but for the time being, we're safe, and I'm loving life right now at the KCOM Stadium, hence why I decided not to go to Leicester City instead. So this is the first game of today's episode. It's not in the league, it's in the cup, as we take on Spurs in the FA Cup round of 16. We're going to stick with the 4-2-3-1. I've been playing it off camera, and it's been going quite well. And let's go ahead and use this lineup. So Heaton is our cup goalkeeper, is in goal. Back for retirement, Ayala, Maguire and Fulquier. In midfield, Henriksen and Dos Santos. Berkay Özcan is our attacking midfielder. Delafeu on the left, Ive on the right, and Brian Donnelly leads the line. On the bench, Ripley, Carter Vickers, Robertson, Walters, Snodgrass, Lako and Tarasad. Actually, let's put Hernandez on for Walters instead. And we shall go with this team. The reason I'm not resting players, by the way, or many, is because we've got a week's gap between the Chelsea game, so I don't need to worry about fitness. So I've got a strong side out there. I'm feeling confident. We're on a very good run of form, and despite Spurs always beating me in FM, I'm feeling optimistic. Come on, Hull City, let's get to the FA Cup quarterfinals. I am feeling very confident. You know, I am feeling very, very confident. And I don't say that much about Hull, I must say. But right now, you know, our run of form has been really good. And I should say, you know, the board asked us to reach the FA Cup 5th round. This is the stage. This is the 5th round. So no matter what happens today, the board will still be satisfied with our cup competition performance in the FA Cup this season. So I don't really mind too much what happens at all. But if we can get through to the quarterfinals, that'll be absolutely amazing. This is the furthest we've been in the series so far in the FA Cup. And getting to the quarters, you know, 90 minutes away from a place at Wembley would be amazing. So first chance good fall here with Jordan Ive down the right-hand side, finding Brian broken-nosed Donnelly, apparently. Özcan on the ball back towards Jonathan Dos Santos. Can we get our first chance here? Ive to the kid, Donnelly on the ball, into Özcan, back to Brian. Brian comes inside, and oh, Glover with the save at his near post, turns behind for a corner. Brian Donnelly has been in great form of late, hat-trick in the last game, and almost opening the score in there. Still 0-0, but good for us to get in the first chance of the game. So still 0-0 as we approach the break. Spurs have had a couple of attempts from range, but other than that, we've been largely untroubled in this first half, despite Spurs playing better. But as things stand right now, we're heading for a replay. Going to say nothing at the break and just let the players go out there with clear minds. And, you know, right now, this is not a bad result per se. Anything could happen in the replay, but I wouldn't really fancy our chances at White Hart Lane, so I might try and go attacking in the second half. And if we lose the game by chasing it, so be it. I mean, we'll have to get chances first. First highlight comes to Spurs here in the second half. Kyle Walker down the right-hand side finds Eric Lamela into Firmino. Turns one and shoots and scores. And a minute and a half into the second half, Roberto Firmino fires Spurs in front. And unfortunately, we trail. And I say it all the time, I never fancy our chances of getting back in the game when we go behind against a big club. Especially not Spurs as well. Spurs are the side I struggle against most in Football Manager. Firmino turns Harry Maguire, and Tom Heaton doesn't even bother diving. The ball's passed him in a flash. He didn't even see it. It's 1-0 to the away team, and that should probably do it. Although, I say that should do it. There's over 40 minutes to go. Calm down, Mr. Negative. Ive crosses. Özcan gets onto the loose ball and shoots, and oh, he's at the post. And Spurs get the ball clear. Stop being so bloody defeatist, mate. It's 1-0, and there's still plenty of time to go. Come on. Heaton's long ball forward is flicked on by Özcan to Brian Donnelly. Good ball out wide towards Jordan Ive, and a chance here possibly for us to get back on level terms. Ive down the right continues, crosses, Donnelly flicks on, and Özcan turns it in, and there is our equaliser. We've done alright in this game, and Berkay Özcan's got his third goal for the club, and I think his second in the cup as well, as he makes it 1-1. Ive down the right, crosses to the middle. I thought Donnelly flicked it on, he might not have touched it actually, and Özcan turns it in just inside the 6-yard area regardless. It is 1-1, and we found the equalising goal. Although, highlight now for Spurs, Lamela whips in a corner. It's dealt with by Özcan initially, but Lamela swings in a second delivery, and Firmino gets his second goal, and Spurs restore the lead. That didn't take long, and Lamela's assist for Firmino's goal fires Spurs back in front, just past the hour mark. And I'm not going to be defeatist. There is still time for us to get back in this game, but certainly not if we keep conceding these chances. Lamela crosses, Firmino heads, and there's no chance for Heaton this time. 2-1, and Spurs retake the lead. So I'm about to make changes, but Spurs do have a highlight here with 18 minutes to go. Eric Dyer on the ball finds Balde Dial Keita into Eric Dyer, and this could be the third goal, and it's a penalty. I'm about to make changes and go to a 4-2-4, but there's no point now, because Spurs are surely going to wrap this game up and secure their progress to the quarterfinals. Ayala took down, I think it was Firmino in the area, and it's not Firmino who will take the penalty, interestingly enough, but there is a chance for them to go 3 goals up, get a 2-goal cushion, and wrap things up. Eric Lamela takes it, and Tom Heaton can't save it. 3-1, and we're at the FA Cup. I don't think I'm being defeatist now. We're surely at the FA Cup now. Lamela's penalty into the top corner. Heaton can't get there, and that should do it. I've taken off Donnelly, by the way, and I'm playing a 4-2-4, so we're probably going to concede 1 more goal before the end of the game. But I don't understand why Donnelly is so bad on camera. Off camera, the guy's unplayable sometimes. I don't think he scored a single goal in an episode I've done so far. I think all of his 11 goals have come off camera, which is so frustrating. He's camera shy, the poor lad. He's got stage fright. But anyway, it's 3-1 Spurs, and that will surely be the game, and they are through to the quarterfinals, and we go out, and that's such a shame as well, because it would have been great to have a great cup run, but the Bordeaux wanted a 5th round. We got to the 5th round, so they'll be happy with that, and I'm far more focused on the league anyway. So Spurs through, Hull out, and I'm fine with that. I say I'm fine with that. That's a pretty decent result or something. Of course it's not. Of course I don't want to go out of the cup competition, but if nothing else, I guess it proves to be possibly a blessing in disguise, because now we only have to worry about the league, and since our league form has been very good of late, we should hopefully continue that run and just consider this game a blip in a competition we're not as fussed about. So we're at the FA Cup. I'm fine with that. It would have been nice to get through to the quarters and 90 minutes away from a place at Wembley, but it's still the furthest we've gone in the competition so far. Just realised Spurs knocked us out of both cup competitions. Bloody hell, Spurs! Honestly, why do I always lose against Spurs and Football Manager? They are so they're so good. They are so good, and it annoys me. But regardless, right now, more worried about the league. 13th place, 14 points clear of the drop, with 11 games to go. Yeah, Spurs, you can take the cups, mate. We'll have the league. We'll have the league. We're sitting in 13th place. They're 5th. What are you talking about? They're getting the better of us in the cup and the league. Alright, so we just got ourselves another youth intake. Of course, you get 1 per season, and once again, there is no one good. Aaron Chamberlain is apparently our best player, and he looks absolutely tragic, so that's good. We are still yet to get a decent player from our youth candidates right now, and that is so annoying because I don't know like what to say about this, because I understand that it is still very difficult to get decent players naturally through your academy, no matter what club you're managing. But I'm still yet to receive anyone good in the first 3 years. And with Swansea, we had Sam Redmond in the first season, who turned out to be a world-class DM. And we had, I think it was Robbie Harrington in the third season. He wasn't bad either. We're still yet to get anyone even half decent with Hull. So that's kind of annoying. But hopefully sooner rather than later, we'll get someone decent. Let's just move into the Chelsea game. Let's just move straight on, because as you guys know, I love youth players, so not getting anyone from the academy always frustrates me a little bit, but that's just one of those things, can't be helped, and hopefully it'll improve over time. So we're taking on Chelsea then for the second and final game today, and despite the loss to Spurs, I'm still hoping for the best. Now, I'm going to change formation and go back to our normal 4-1-2-3 DM wide, so our attacking midfielder is now a DM, and we're going to start on counter as well, as opposed to control, because I said before, I do prefer control, because I feel that we're a good enough team now to work the ball around and sort of control the tempo of the game. But against the bigger teams, I've got to remember, switch to counter, because we're just not good enough to do that against those sort of teams. A couple of changes to lineup as well. Carter Vickers just had a training injury, so he's going to be out for today's game. And Alfred Ndiaye, by the way, I forgot to tell you this at the start of the episode, he had a sports hernia and he's still injured right now, hence why he's not featured in today's 2 games. But he's not going to be that big of a blow, because Obiang is back now, which is great, as he was cup tied for the Spurs game. And this will be the team for the game. Raj in goal, back four of Timon, Curtis Davies filling in, Harry Maguire and Fulquier. Our midfield trio is Pedro Obiang, Henriksen and Dos Santos. In the wings, Delafay on the left, Jordan Ibe on the right, and Brian Camera Shy Donnelly is leading the line. On the bench, Tom Heaton, Daniel Ayala, Andrew Robertson, Robert Snodgrass, Jonathan Lako, Abel Hernandez, and Shani Tarasaj. So let's get straight to the game. Come on, Hull City. I would certainly take a point in this game. That would be a good result for us. Let's see if we can get it. Camera Shy Brian Camera Shy Donnelly. That is not the nickname that I want to give him. Okay, that is not the nickname he should be satisfied with. It's not as good as Callum Clutch Wilson. You know, when you call a player clutch, you know what to expect. He's good in late game situations that are really important. But, you know, Camera Shy, that's not a nickname you want, mate. What do you think of when you think someone's camera shy, you know? Introverted? Self-conscious? Me? Oh, God, no, not like this, not straight away. Henriksen, mate, we're away against Chelsea. You cannot afford to get sent off 13 minutes into the game. Everything was going according to plan in recent weeks. And now we're falling apart. And I tell you what, if we get scrapped back into a relegation scrap down to... If we get back into a relegation scrap, I am not going to be happy. Right, I'm going to switch to a 4-4-1, because we're now down to 10 men. And, oh, for God's sake, this is all we need, man, seriously. We'll have Obiang as a ball-winning midfielder still, but in a CM area now. And poor old Donnelly's going to be so isolated up top there. Oh, God, Henriksen already sent off for 2 yellow cards 13 minutes in. What a terrible start. You know, it is worth noting, though, the last time we went down to 10 men against Chelsea, we saw out the game as a 0-0. And it's 0-0 here. Although here's a corner for Chelsea, and they could already go in front, which they might do. No, City hits the bar, and we scramble it away before De Vrij can swivel and shoot. It's still 0-0, but Donnelly, I might actually bring back Donnelly and play him as a attacking midfielder now. Maybe as a shadow striker, because he's going to be so isolated up there. Yeah, I'm going to do that now. There's no point in just leaving up there on his own, because he won't even get the ball, and he won't contribute on defense either. So if we have him as a shadow striker, he can close down some defenders when we're out of possession, which will be for the majority of the game now. And hopefully he'll at least contribute a bit on defense. But it is going to be very difficult to see this game out still tied at 0-0. We are going to be under pressure for the entire rest of the game. Oh, I mean, that's not great, is it? Fulke gives it straight to Marco Verratti. João Mario on the ball. Out wide to Azpilicueta. This should be 1-0, and it is. James Rodriguez turns in the cross. Chelsea take the lead, and they go in front. I mean, it was going to be hard enough to see out this game with 10 men. Even harder when you just give them the ball 25 yards from goal. Fulke has clearance to Verratti. João Mario finds Azpilicueta. Nice ball across the ground, and James Rodriguez at the back stick fires it in. 1-0 Chelsea, and even right now, even with just over 10 games to go after this game, even being 11 points clear of the drop zone, with this whole City side, you never know what's going to happen, and you still feel as there's a chance we could get dragged into a relegation scrap. We are never safe with Hull City, no matter what season it is, no matter how many points we're clear, because we're still an awful side. We've made improvements, but we're still nowhere near good enough to be safe, guaranteed, year in, year out. We are not good enough to do that sort of thing yet. And that... Oh my Jesus Christ. Raj, what's going on, mate? So still at 1-0. It'll probably become 2 at some point. And maybe right now... Yeah, there it is. De Vrij turns in a corner which was failed to be dealt with. And that will surely confirm it, as if it was ever in doubt. 2-0 Chelsea. They're going up to second place, 1 point behind United. But for us, we're going to stay in 13th place. We are still 11 points clear of the drop. But again, with 10 games to go, I mean, you just never know. Like, you just never know what's going to happen. So I still don't feel safe, even though this is only our second league defeat in, again, 15 games, I think it is. So yeah, there's still time for us to get sucked back down into a relegation fight, and hopefully this will just be a blip. We're probably going to see the game become 3-0 at any point as Courtois launches the ball long towards Alexandro. We're not pressing as Donnelly wins the ball back there, and we can't afford to do that, really. We're sort of just trying to weather the storm and play damage limitation, to be honest, and make sure the scoreline doesn't get embarrassing. Having said that, 2 minutes to go, Delafeu inside the area, crosses, Donnelly, oh... I'm changing his name after the game. I'm changing his name. I'm sorry, Brian. I love you. I really do believe you can be the star of the show. But you are bloody awful in every single episode I make. Off camera, you're great, mate. And I'm talking about you as if you're going to be the best player in the world in 5 years' time. Turn on the camera, start recording, and you just wither under the pressure. I'm far from pleased with what I saw. I've made sure Dos Santos lost confidence. I don't really care. Everyone else is fired up. Brian Donnelly seems motivated. Yeah, I bet you'll do fine as soon as I finish recording the episode. But every time you're on camera, you're absolutely awful. But Henriksen, you're the moron, mate. I'm going to fine you a week's wages. You want to discuss personal matters? Mate, you cost us the game. Yeah, he's no longer concerned. Thanks, Curtis Davis. Cheers, Skipper. Right, and changing Donnelly's name. I'm changing Donnelly's name to Camera Shy. Brian Camera Shy Donnelly, because this is getting ridiculous now. He's yet to score a goal on camera. And it's not good enough, mate. It's not good enough. Seriously, you're going to have to start performing when I start recording, all right? Because this is just unbelievable, mate. Seriously. Right, so that will end today's episode then with back-to-back defeats. Not a great episode after a nice run of form. I think I'm camera shy. My performances here with Brian Donnelly as well. But we lose back-to-back in the Cup and the League. There are 10 games to go in the season, and right now we are sitting in 13th place. We are still 11 points clear of the drop. We still have 10 games to go, and I'm still feeling confident we will stay above the relegation zone come the end of the season. So what I think I'm going to do is, if we continue to struggle and our form turns really bad, which after back-to-back defeats is looking quite likely, I'll come back with games against Spurs and Southampton, home and away, in mid to late April. But if we get back on the winning wagon and we keep ourselves in mid-table, I'll come back for the final episode of the season at home to Arsenal and Stoke. So if we start struggling and we don't win any of these 4 games here, I will play the Spurs and Saints games. But I feel like we're only 2 or 3 wins away from safety, and if we get them, then I'll just play the Arsenal and Stoke games, which will be the final games of the season. So that's the plan. So thanks for watching the episode, guys. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do leave a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic weekend, and I shall see you for the next episode of our Football Manager series very soon. Bye.